All right, so this is clutch and flywheel out of a Mini Cooper S 2009 Mini Cooper. So the primary thing I want to check out today is this. It's called a dual mass flywheel. I have well, I know how they work, but I've never come across one before. So just as a quick little explanation here. So the reason for a dual mass flywheel. So the dual mass flywheel has, from what I understand, springs in here, and you can see I can move it. So you see the ring gear here is not moving, and the outer part is moving, and I can twist it if I really, put some force on it. This one's clearly worn out. I don't know if you can see that, but that's wobbling back and forth like crazy. Maybe this angle. Yeah, not supposed to do that. So, worn out. Anyway, the clutch disc out of this car, normally clutch discs have springs built in there so that the spline and the outer clutch material has kind of the same effect that's going on here. And that's because engines, piston engines are, well, they're going in pulses, right? So you got all four of these cylinders and only one of them is firing at a time, so it's going in pulses, and that dampens out that pulsing. And you need to dampen out that pulsing because the gears always have some play in them, and gearboxes don't like that pulsing. So the gears will smack back and forth, and it will prematurely wear out gears, all kinds of bad stuff. So what I want to do is take a look at the inside of this guy, and see, really what I want to see is it rebuildable? Because if it is, I'm going to save this, send it to the machine shop, have them rebuild it, and then I'll have a spare one for next time I do it. If not, it's just going to go in the scrap bin. So it looks to me like we got two rivets here that are holding the whole assembly together. I don't know if I can just pound those out or if I got to drill them out. I think I'll try kissing them with a drill first and see what happens. Alright, try whacking those out. Oh, or it'll just fall apart like that. Alright, so we got just a retaining ring here. The two rivets that hold it together. And then on the inside, maybe. That's the innards. Huh. So all we've got here is, well, just some grease, some springs, some nylon, it looks like, pieces that hold the springs in place. So that's pretty simple. And then these tangs, index here, here, and here, and push on those springs. And that's all there is to it. So the question is, could you rebuild it? Huh. This is peened over here, which makes me think that there's something interesting to see underneath there. So my initial impression is no, because this is sheet metal, and I think that's where the play's coming from. But maybe, once I open this up, we'll see something that changes my mind. I think I see where this is going. There's going to be a giant bearing underneath here. And this is a retaining ring for that bearing. And if that is the case, then there's really absolutely no reason this thing couldn't be refinished. They just press out the old bearing. Press out the old bearing and slap in a new one. Alright, as per usual, just take a little gentle coaxing with a hammer. Oh boy, all kinds of stuff going on in here. Alright, so we appear to have a retaining ring, as previously stated. Alright, and I think all that's really going on here is the very edges of this are riding on these guys, on these nylon, looks like nylon kind of, I guess it would be kind of a bearing of sorts, like a plain bearing. And you can see they've got little nodules on them to kind of help the grease work its way in there. So that's actually kind of clever. So yeah, I think all that's going on is that sitting there. This is being located by that. Or was it the other way? I think it was the other way. Was it the other way? Does that make a sense? No. No, that wasn't right. It was this way. And that bushing may have been on top here. Nope, it wasn't. So like that. We'll stick with my original story. So like that gets compressed down in there. So I don't see why you couldn't just increase the size of one of these shims, possibly replace one of these things, or possibly shim it on the back side. I mean, I think that's all that was going on there. And I'm pretty sure that's where the play was developing. And that goes in here. So my question is still, where would you refinish? I suppose you'd actually remove that shim to bring the two plates closer together. Would be the way to do it. Oh, now that I'm all greasy, I can't move it. Yeah, I suppose you could do some shimming and get this to go back together. Possibly remachine this surface. I'm not really sure, but it's not inconceivable to me that you could machine this and give it new life. So I think it's worth throwing back on the shelf, wrapping it in plastic, soaking it in some oil so it doesn't get all rusty, and tossing it on the shelf just for next time this thing needs a clutch. I can send this to a machine shop and get redone. Save a few bucks, hopefully. But there was just not really much information out there on what you can actually do to these things. Like if rebuilding them is worthwhile or, you know, anything like that. So, well, anyway, thanks for watching.